Who on earth let this man cook so goddamn hard?
Let him cook!
Els is back with another, I'm going to say banger without even playing the damn track yet. I don't understand this man's work rate. I swear it was only a couple of weeks ago that he released the Redbud track. This is a free track, believe it or not, and it looks absolutely incredible. This is Kels's edition of Fox Raceway. It is a 2023 layout. It has got 40 gates. I am playing on the high-res version because he's gone through the effort of making a high, medium and low for varying computers. And I have seen about a half of a lap from someone's POV, and it looks so good. I do want to pre-warn though, in the description of this on MXB Mods, Kels has said this is tested on OEM bikes. I am not riding those today. I'm going to be trying out the Husky 450 factory bike for the very first time. So it could work fine, it could not work so fine, we shall see. But look how many ruts he's got in each of the corners. Like, the line selection is going to go crazy. I'm a little bit worried about some of these like downhills. I think they're really going to cause you to check up speed and be very careful. So I think it's going to be a lot more of a technical track than I first thought. But I'm very excited. Let's get into it. For all of you passionate gamers, you can now get 20% off all G Fuel products worldwide by using code LINS at checkout. And for any of you motorheads looking for some new drip or apparel, use code MXPR_LINS15 fxrracing.eu to get 15% off. All links and codes are in the description down below. Enjoy the video and drop a cheeky little like and subscribe. Well. It is that time again where we cover another Kels track. I am a day late on this one, unfortunately. I did already have a video pre-scheduled for yesterday, which was Aiden's Supercross track that got released, so if you haven't checked that video out yet, please go and do so. I'd really appreciate it, and make sure to give some feedback to Aiden on his very first track release. So, we're at Fox Raceway. This is the 2023 layout, and trying to rack my brain back to the racing of Fox Raceway this year, I can't remember all of it off by heart. I just remember the racing in Moto 2 being pretty damn close between Jet and Chase. Very good racing overall. So I'm not going to be able to just go around this track and absolutely blitz it on the first lap or so. I think it's going to take me a little while, because I'm just going to have muscle memory built in from the 2022 version that we've done for Aerial. But please do let me off a little bit. The track looks very wide, which is a good thing, because if there's gates of 40 people on here, I imagine it's probably going to be quite fast-paced. Kels's tracks are very popular, mostly because they are free, but it's just the way he builds them. They really do, I think, attract some of the newer people to the game that they kind of want to move on from them stock tracks like your Forest and your Club, and I think they are a very logical next step, because a lot of time they include what you want. Now, there's multiple ruts in each corner. The jumps can be a little bit challenging, but not too much. You can still get pretty damn steezy. There's a few braking bumps going into corners, but none that really want to kick you over the bars and make you die straight away, although some of these, for a Kels track, these bumps are a lot more choppy than I'm used to, and I quite like it. I like the direction he seems to be going in here. So far, there's multiple ruts in each corner, which is a W, and he might have built this to work more with Erode. It seems like the ruts are a little bit on the shallow side for me right now, so we'll see how that changes as we progress. Unfortunately, I have 0 road on for this video. I completely forgot that turns a sharp left there now. So that's one little change from the 2022 version through to the 2023 one. But I have the high-res version of this track installed right now. It looks so nice. Oh my goodness. I didn't think that grey and brown could look as pretty as it does. But as we're getting a nice dirt sample here from throwing it down onto the ground, it's really good. He's gone through a lot of effort by the looks of it to make sure that all of the shading is just right, the textures look really pretty, it's not all samey, and I think this actually won't look too bad on YouTube for a change. Because even if I stop, like, you can see the level of detail that goes into the ground textures, but the contrast isn't massively over the top, so it doesn't go like super bright to super light. So I think YouTube will do a slightly better job of actually not rendering it in, you know what I mean, like the bitrate won't absolutely die. At least I'm hoping so. And it depends what device you watch on, actually. I think obviously it'll look a lot better on a phone on a nice small screen than it would stretched out on a massive monitor. But, you know, it is what it is. I try my very best. And someone commented the other day, which I think is the very first person that I've seen mention it, and he just said thank you for uploading in 1440p. I know not a lot of people do. The standard is 1080 these days, but I mean, I've got a decent PC to be able to record in it, and for the sake of like bigger files, it's really not the end of the world. I mean, I go through and I delete my recordings and my rendered videos every couple of days to make room for the new ones. And if there ever comes a time throughout the channel's history where I want to go back and make a massive compilation, I can just go on YouTube and re-download the videos from there anyway, and then just take snippets as and when I desire. I'm not sure if I like the sound of this husky, if I'm completely honest. Sounds like a little bit of a wet fart. Oh, I like... Oh, that's very, very nice. I like being able to pre-jump and get up and over that, channeling my inner jet. And I'm recording this video, by the way, the day before Nations racing. So I got finished watching all the qualifying earlier, so then tomorrow is when the actual racing starts. And I put a poll out on my channel, which I'll check on again later once it's been up for a few hours to see what people's general consensus is and who you're all rooting for. I am going large for Team Australia this year. I have a feeling that Team France are going to get it done on home soil, but in terms of what team I want to win it, it's got to be Australia for me. Not just from the fact that Great Britain are absolutely in the mud for the foreseeable future. We've really got no up-and-coming talent at all in the UK anymore, so I think we're going to be in the bin for quite a long time. So outside of the UK, yeah, really rooting for the Aussies. I think I would be very, very shocked if the US come and get a W with the team that they have got. And this is a bit of a... Oh, I feel like you might be able to triple that. That would be absolutely huge if you can, but I feel like that's doable. Yeah, if the US somehow came out and win with that like second-rate team, I'd be very, very shocked. And it's a shame, really, that a lot of the big US boys don't want to represent their country. I find it very weird. Obviously, they're all for it when it's on American soil at Redbud, but as soon as they're going overseas into Europe, just no one's really interested anymore. And I couldn't think of a bigger, I guess, privilege than getting to represent your own country in real life. I mean, I feel honoured enough when I get to do it in a video game, for crying out loud. And then to do that in person, with like fans travelling miles and miles to cheer you on, like that must feel so, so good. So yeah, a little bit let down by the US squad, if I'm honest. And I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Is there something that I'm missing out on? Is there kind of like politics as to why people can't? I believe Charlie mentioned to me that Sexton actually wanted to, but he didn't want to do it on the Honda, and he wanted to do it on the KTM, and things just didn't fall into place for him to be able to do that yet. But yeah, I don't know how true that is. But yeah, if you have any more information on that and to why so many of the US riders just said no, let me know, because I'm very, very intrigued. Obviously, I'm quite a casual fan when it comes to motocross. You know, I don't follow every single story that happens behind the scenes or read all the different articles and watch various podcasts. I literally just show up on Saturdays and watch the racing. Like that's where my enjoyment is. I'm not a super hardcore stan, so I could be a bit ignorant to some things, but that's what I got you guys for. You guys are the hardcore fans that keep me updated on all these things and definitely correct me when I'm wrong. Okay, so I don't like the bass noise of this husky, but I actually quite like the limiter. If I be quiet whilst we jump this jump real quick. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I held brake in the air. Right, we'll do it again over this bad boy. Try and throw our fat and get on the rev limiter. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, that sounds pretty damn meaty. I'm a fan of that one. I will say, thank God that the suspension on both the factory bikes and the OEM bikes is very good when it comes to over jumping things now, because the amount of times that I've flat landed some of these jumps or gone a little bit too deep is crazy. I think I would have lost the front end multiple times on previous iterations of the bikes. So they've both done a very, very good job on that, which makes tracks like this just all the more enjoyable. I remember a kind of beta 17-ish era, I suppose a lot of beta 18 as well before the most recent updates on the bikes. If you ever got like a particularly choppy track, a lot of the time it would never feel like you're in the bumps at all. It feels like you're constantly just sliding across the top of them, and the suspension was like super, super stiff. It didn't absorb anything, and the traction was so slippery that you just spin up across the top of them the whole time. So it definitely makes these tracks so much more enjoyable. There's probably a bunch of tracks from back in the day that people fell out of love with when the game or the bikes progressed through time that are probably now very, very viable again. So it might be worth having a little dig through and seeing what's what. I think, honestly, like the track seems big in terms of scaling, like in terms of the width. Like it's so wide, you could probably get about 10 bikes side by side through sections like that. But the jump scaling, I'm guessing it's just because of how steep they've been built, but I feel like I'm over jumping everything. There's no jumps that you have to stretch out at all. So if you're going to be trying this for the first time, I think the 450 might not be the way to go. It seems like it's a little bit over the top, a little bit overkill. So definitely have a look down the 250 route. Just get a little jump up and over again. And even though the ruts are quite shallow, I think they do a good job of keeping you going the right speed. I think if they were super, super deep trenches, you'd be going way too fast around the track and overjumping things even more than I already am. So I'm actually... I take my first comments back about them being shallow. They are the right depth for this track. And of course, when a road kicks in, everything gets a little bit deeper anyway. So you'll probably find this is one of them weird tracks where your speed actually increases as the motor goes on, because it'll wear away some of the braking bumps, it'll make the ruts a little bit deeper, and the track will just get faster as a whole, and probably actually get a little bit easier, because there's like flat tracking and shallow ruts at the moment on this game are one of the harder things to go fast on. A lot of the time the bikes want to go in a straight line and go over the rut rather than follow them. But I'm not taking points away from this track at all in that regards, because it's still very, very enjoyable. And I quite like how I can kind of skip out braking bumps, kind of apex from one side of the track to the other to try and find smooth lines. It's not just, the bumps aren't all uniform. He's made it a little bit more rough on the inside compared to the outside to try and make lines equal to one another. And in terms of like creativity and line choices, he's done an absolutely exceptional job. And without trying to sound too greedy, I can't wait to see which track he's working on next. I very much doubt he's going through the entire calendar. I mean, we've had Unadilla, we've had Redbud, we've obviously now got Fox Raceway. I wonder which one's next. That could be a good comment. So let me know down below, which of the calendar do you think have not been done enough justice in this game yet? Which one would you like to see Kells do? For me, it would probably be either a Washington or... oh god, what's the name of it? Why does it escape me? And I say Washington, I mean Washougal, sorry, you know what I mean there. A Washougal or a Thunder Valley, I think, could be up there for me. I think I'd very, very much enjoy those two being done by Kells. He just makes such a, like, I don't want this to sound a negative way, but he just makes very good casual tracks. You know, I can hop on this and just spin lap after lap without really having to try too hard. I'm sure there's some fast lines, and if you did want to dedicate a lot of time to it, you could get going very, very fast. But for me, to hop on the game for 10-20 minutes at a time, this is absolutely fine. This is more than enough, and it's a little bit selfish or greedy, but my god, does it make doing live streams and stuff so much easier when you get tracks like this that can accommodate 40 riders. I guarantee everybody that hops into my live streams will have it downloaded and will enjoy it as well. So yeah, I can't thank you enough, Kells, honestly. But give me, what do I have to do to get any good books? Spread them. So you can tell me when it's going to release so I can be ready and prioritise it, because goddamn, I wish I could have done this on day one. It's a little bit of a... that's just a bit of a YouTuber thing, to be honest, because unfortunately in this space, where we have now got a bit of competition from other creators, obviously this isn't meant to be in a negative way at all, because I get along with a bunch of the other YouTube guys absolutely fine. I get along with Reaper, I get along with Troy, but it's kind of one of the things where if you can be the first person to get a video out on a certain track, the video will do so much better. So I'm probably going to be second or third. I don't know if Reaper's covering this as well, but I've already seen Troy's thumbnail, so I know he's done it. It will hinder the video a little bit, which is a shame, but I still wanted to do it anyway, because I really do think these tracks like this deserve all of the love and attention that they can get, so I'm more than happy to be that person to bring it your way. Also, a massive thank you. I asked in my Discord, I didn't see anyone respond to it yet at the point of me recording this at least. I've only had my, at the point of me recording this, I've only had the G Fuel sponsorship / message in one video, and already there was one person that ordered $68 worth of G Fuel products. So obviously 10% commission on that, I get $6.80. So from one sale, that's really, really good. I'm a very, very happy man. So to whoever you are, I hope you enjoy, and thank you very, very much, because it's little things like that which probably don't seem like much to you guys, but at the end of the day, it all goes towards contributing to me doing this as a job, and having those one or two different sources of revenue, whether it's YouTube ad rev or TikTok ad rev, whether it's FXR commission, G Fuel commission, it all kind of works together, all goes hand in hand, and it's really something that I'm trying to focus on, is trying to diversify a little bit. I am a bit of an old man, so I'm still trying to work my way around the old top ticks and trying to work out that algorithm and what works and what doesn't work overall. Very annoyed, by the way, because the last video that I posted got muted. I had no idea about you can only use songs for a certain period of time on that platform, so that absolutely flopped. But yeah, I'm trying to get my head around that and try and expand a little bit and diversify. I did want to apologise a little bit. I know there's been a lack of live streams.
You suck!
Recently, over the last week. That's just because I've been really enjoying my time on FIFA at the moment. It is a massive grind, and I think it really speaks to either my ADHD side or my TISM side, whichever one you want to refer to it as. I love games that you can grind and that you can progress in, and seeing kind of like the value of your club go up and getting better players and earning more coins throughout. There's something very addictive to that for me. So my sleep pattern now, it's so in the bin, it's unreal. I'm going to sleep at about 6 or 7 a.m. and waking up at about 2 or 3 p.m. and that all started just from grinding FIFA, and it's going to be happening for the foreseeable future. Now when there comes like proper aerial races, 100% I'll still be streaming those, but just for now there's not going to be too many public streams or for PT grinding and things like that, just because I'm really enjoying the FIFA stuff. There's probably never going to be videos on it. That game does bring out the worst side of me. There's been a whole lot of profanities from both me and Charlie whilst playing it, and I know that this isn't the biggest football/soccer audience in the world. We like our two wheels, we like our engines, we like our motorbikes, so it's going to stay exactly as that. But I hope you understand. It's nice to mix things up for me a little bit now and then, so I don't get burnt out on the same games or the same things over and over again. But that'll wrap things up, I think, for me for this video. I cannot speak highly enough of this track. It is incredible, and I think for a free track you really can't ask for much more. It looks very good. The multiple lines is really good. I've taken a couple different lines. I think most of the time I do find myself filtering into the same place, but I feel like that's just where the track naturally takes you, from apexing from one corner into another. So that's not a bad thing at all. Like here, this inside just really speaks to me compared to the like middle or the outside, and you can still hit the double coming out of the corner. But yeah, line choice is good. I like the roughness. I like that he's made it rougher on the inside than the outside to just make things nice and equal as well. The amount of models and just detail all over the place is really cool. And I'm on the higher res version right now. I've got, if I press Control F, I've got well over 120 or so frames. I'm sitting at about 170. It's flickering all over the place. So really, really good stuff. Very well optimized and very fun to ride. That's the most important thing. So I hope you guys enjoy this track. I hope you enjoy the video, most importantly as well. If you did, if I can ask, as always, to drop a little like and a subscribe on the video, I would really appreciate it. Leave a comment for the algorithm, help a brother out, cue the music, end the video, roll the outro.